Hey, welcome to Lunch with Lee. Today's Friday. We're talking about dryer vents, and today a top five list, which is the top five problems in our area, which is Houston and Beaumont and all the surrounding areas. We've gone to Austin, we've gone to Corpus Christi, we've gone to Dallas, we've gone to New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Lake Charles and anything around, anything you can think of. Yes, we've been there. But top five things we've seen in our regular service areas, which is number one, which is vents are just too long. This dryer vent will be well over 25 feet, have 2 or 3 90-degree turns. It's just a poorly designed vent. And it's not easy to fix always. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it takes some crazy route and we're on an exterior wall and we can just punch it through and make a 6-inch vent and you're good to go. But number one problem, improper design, vent's too long, has too many turns. So if you have a dryer vent and from inside your laundry room, I've taught this on several other videos, you can't imagine a way for it to get to the outside, it's probably too long. So number two, and some areas don't have this at all, but ours do, which is the wrong size vent. Most people know, or if you've listened to my videos, most people know, 4-inch round is what's considered correct for a dryer vent. It's the same size that comes out the back of the dryer. You're supposed to maintain that through the whole vent. So we see vents that are 3 inches, which are too small. And we see ones that are 6 inches, which are too big. Both are a problem. So too small, obviously a problem. A little bit of lint creates a ton of leaks, a ton of clogs. And the reason they do that is because a 4-inch vent doesn't fit in a 2x4 wall very well at all. You think 4 inches, it should, but it's not really 4 inches. Sometimes it's 3.5, sometimes it's 3.25. Usually they're squashed and ovalized, and at the top of the walls, they have to make weird turns. They don't fit very well. So someone will have the brilliant idea, let's put in a 3-inch vent and it will fit better, and it does, but it causes all kinds of problems. So also 6-inch vents, you have amount of flow through a 6-inch vent, meaning the amount of force, the actual, the amount of draft or the force that the dryer is pushing through there. If you make the vent too big, it's got too much dilution air. It doesn't get a lot of force. It builds up a lot, although it can hold more lint because it's a bigger size. It just doesn't work very well. Okay, number three, backdraft dampers, which often they don't have them at all, or they're incorrectly designed. And a backdraft damper is just when the vent blows, it opens, and when it doesn't, it shuts. So all dryer vents by code are supposed to have these. So if it goes through your roof, quite often, it's not even a dryer vent termination, or where it goes through the roof is not correct. So it just sort of blows inside of a cavity. Half of it turns back into the attic. It's not good. Also, birds can get in it. And the other way is when it goes out the side of your house, either the little louvers that open and close are plastic and have fallen apart, or they're not sufficient to keep birds out. And most of them are not unless we've installed it or you've had a certain type, which is totally bird-free. So backdraft dampers, the third biggest thing. The fourth biggest thing, and this happens a lot in certain areas of our town, which is people use the wrong materials for dryer vent. You know, the flexible stuff that goes from your dryer to your wall, they'll put that in the walls, and it's not designed to go in the walls at all. So dryer vents, it just doesn't work. It builds up. When we clean it, it can fall apart. It's not designed for that. Or what they put in the walls is plastic. And plastic, if you were to have a dryer vent fire, is going to melt. They don't last long term. Same problems. If you try to clean it, it literally kind of falls apart. So the wrong material. It should be galvanized metal in your walls. So the fifth one is a big problem in our area, which is screens. So people try to keep birds out. They don't have proper backdraft dampers. We just talked about it. So pest control companies put screens over them or inside of them. Either way, lint gets backed up inside that screen, causes an issue. Hopefully not a fire, but that's potentially what it can cause. And it causes major issues. It can ruin dryers. It can cause all kinds of issues. So, or if it goes through your roof, some of the ones the builders put on, the roofers that work with builders, have screens built into them. And in the instructions for those roof terminations, it says, please, if you're using this for a dryer vent, please remove the screen. Not in those exact words, but something similar to that. And people don't read the instructions and they leave the screens on. So if you don't have a proper termination where it goes up through the roof or out through the side, or if you don't know if you do, give us a call. We can come out, we can clean it, we can inspect it, we can make sure everything's working correctly. We can make sure none of these 5 things you have, because we have customers that have sometimes 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 5 things for 15 years and never know it until eventually it becomes a problem. They start to have water leaks inside their walls where incorrectly, the material's not correct, and it starts to get condensation in it because there's more lint, and then it starts to drip water and you start to have leak spots. It's important that all 5 of these things, the boxes are checked. And if you do, you're generally not going to have problems. And quite honestly, a lot of times then you end up not even needing us. So all of our technicians that go out, they think every dryer vent's bad, because when people call us, it's generally because they're having problems. And if they're having problems, something's wrong. So it's like a doctor where they think everybody's sick. For us, we think every dryer vent's sick, but that's not always true. There's correct ways to do it. And quite often those people honestly don't call us much. So these are the 5 things. If you have any questions, put comments below, like it, share it. Let's help as many people as possible. I appreciate it, and I will see you next week.